Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. I'm Marivox, and in today's video we're going to be touring one of my Fallout settlements. So as you can see here on the map, we're here at the castle, which is the home of the Minutemen. You do have that whole big mission where you have to basically clean out the Mirelurks that took over the fort after the Minutemen kind of left it. So yeah, did that mission a little while ago, and now this place is run and home to the Minutemen. There's also just a bunch of settlers here that are kind of using the Minutemen as protection, but it's also kind of a base of operations, so there's a bunch of stuff here to look at. So first, let's come down here. I wanted to kind of use the natural road pathing system, so where you've got this kind of stone, floor here, and then you've got the grass. I wanted to use the natural stone as pathways here, so they're kind of like my roads. So I've just got some like houses and some stores kind of spread around. I try to keep the stores' names kind of military themed. So you've got the commissary here is the general store, and we'll take a look at that in a second. So we're going to come up here into this little apartment, and again, it's just kind of your basic living space. Got some food on the shelves. This settlement, luckily, I haven't had as much. Okay, Ada, stop talking. I haven't had as much issues with putting things on shelves and them staying there. They've been pretty good about that. Back here, this is where the weapon and armor workshop is, so you can come back here and repair or improve armor and weapons and improve your power armor. And there's also just like some other gear, mines, fat men, that kind of stuff, so that you can come back and reload, I guess, or like resupply. There's also a shop here that is particularly devoted to just armor and weapons, and I called that one the armory. It's over there. But we're going to take a look at the commissary next. We're just going to go around in this circle here, and then we're going to take a look inside the fort and then up top. So this is the commissary. Come in here, and this is just kind of your general goods store. Got a few things fallen off of the shelves, but that's not the end of the world. That's fine. All right, and so this is the general store, and the person that runs the general store actually lives back here. So this is their living area. I've got a kitchen. Did not put anything on that shelf. That's my bad. I tried to make sure I'd put some stuff anyway. Living area up here, and of course sleeping back here. So we're gonna move on to the next one. The next one's just a couple of houses out this way. I'm gonna keep going around in a circle. So I've got two houses here. So one's up there, and that actually also leads to the top of the fort. But again, we're gonna look at that last. So let's go in here, take a look at this little living area. Again, this is just like a two-person house. I tried to put as many of these in here. There's also a barracks, and there's the inn and a clinic. So there's plenty of beds, but like I wanted to have actually enough houses for people to live in. So it made kind of sense. This is another house, and again, you can get up top of the walls here, but we're not going to take a look at that just yet. This one's slightly bigger than the one we just looked at. Again, kitchen area, eating area, sleeping, living, all that kind of fun stuff. And they have a nice little view out onto or into the grounds of the fort. All right, so we're going to come down here. There's an exit right here, so our provisioners use this road. So they actually leave that way, but they come into the fort right through there. So there's just a nice pathway from one end of the fort to the other. Right here, we just have this little house that is kind of right up against the wall. It doesn't have any light. Like, I didn't actually put any candles or anything in here because the street light right here is so bright, it lights up the whole house. So I just didn't end up putting anything in there. But it's got an eating area, sitting area, and of course, sleeping facilities. So gotta have all the amenities. Right here, this is castle clothing, and then above that is a cut above. So upstairs is the salon basically, and this is your clothing store. So just have some mannequins here, some clothing on the shelves, that kind of thing. And of course it's nighttime, so people aren't out doing their stuff. But I wanted you guys to see it at night because of the neon. It's a lot easier to see the neon when it's a little darker out, and it's so well lit that it's like you're not losing any visibility or anything. Except maybe inside the fort because the lights in there don't want to work fully. Anyway, so this is a cut above, so this is our salon, and yes, I do have somebody that works here, but again, it's nighttime, and they have this wonderful view of the whole settlement here. Just windows all the way around, and it's just, I really like this particular building. I felt like for a salon, other than the one like in Oberlin where it had all the posters, I also felt like just having a bunch of natural light and just really good views was a really good idea. Okay, so we're going to continue on back down this road here. This is going to take you past the radio. So I turned the speakers off just so I wouldn't get, pinged for having music or whatever. I don't know if the music that they play on this station is copyrighted or not, so I'm just not even going to try to, try that. So here's another house. I just put this kind of by the radio tower. I kind of like canon think that he sleeps here, and it just makes sense. He's right next to the tower and all that kind of stuff. He has to sleep eventually. Anyway, so this is kind of your kitchen area right in here. You go through this little gap, and you're going to get to sitting area and bedroom, and it's just nice and decorated and furnished and just plenty of room for everybody. All right, so we're going to go back out this way. I'm going to shut this door, and then this is the power station, actually, just a little power shed. So if I open it up, here's our power shed. This powers the whole settlement. Gotta have a nice power generator here, because this place uses a lot of power. As you can see, we've got these little light posts that kind of go throughout, and they light up everything here. There's a bunch around. This building here is actually the workshop, so where the settlement workshop is, and then above that, this person works on scavenging, basically. So this is kind of like storage. Of course, there's a doghouse over here too for whenever my dog decides to come here and stay. So here's the workshop room. I just put some cabinets and storage and stuff in here for other things that they don't get stored in the workshop. But this is just a little workshop room, and then we're going to go up the stairs and take a look at the house upstairs. So you walk in, there's a kitchen, and again, nice light and windows in here. Not a lot of natural light. I'm not going according to a plan. Okay, thanks. Anyway, so you get a nice view of this part of the settlement, and then you come around here, you got a seating area and then a bedroom right there. All right, so we're gonna go down these stairs. We only have 2 more buildings out here to look at. So can Ada please move? Goodness gracious. Sometimes I really hate the followers in this game. They just kind of like stand right where you're trying to walk, and it's really annoying. Anyway, this is the armory. So you got the sign right there for the armory. This building sells weapons and armor, in case the word armory wasn't, immediately obvious. So armor is over here. You got your American flag, obviously, and then some I try to go with military type stuff or like Minutemen type stuff just because it made sense for this area. And there's some armor over here. And then on this side, this is weapons. So you've got weapons displayed on the walls, some weapons displayed here. I don't have enough big weapons yet, so yeah. Gotta put some down there, but for the most part, it's pretty well furnished. So this building here is the inn called Defender's Rest, and there's also a Slocum's Joe in here. And if you are interested in the Slocum's Joe, or like where I got that, that's actually part of the Creation Club. So it comes in, you have to buy it, but it's not really that expensive. It's like maybe $10. I can't even remember. So anyway, there's Slocum's Joe right here. This is kind of like the inn common area. So you can actually make coffee and donuts, which is pretty cool. Anyway, there's 3 inn rooms here. So here's one down here. They all pretty much look the exact same. So here's one, and again, nicely well lit, got a lamp in there. And then the other 2 are upstairs. There's not a lot of seating in here just because it's not a lot of room. I figured that people were going to come in here. If they wanted to sit, they could, but for the most part, they could just head back home. And besides, there's a mess hall, so I didn't really feel like making a whole other cafe when there's a mess hall and a bar here already. All right, so the last 2 rooms are up here, and again, they look the exact same as the one downstairs. I think I only changed the carpet here and the painting. Naturally, that one's got a cat on the wall. The rest of them, I think, have nice little landscapes, but again, all the same for, your travelers or what have you. So that's Defender's Rest and the Slocum's Joe. So let's come back out this way. Now we're going to take a look inside the fort itself. So if you go through here, and we turn left. So this way is to the mess hall. As you can see, I've written mess hall over here on the wall. This is, of course, a big cafeteria. So there's a lot of eating space, big, you got counter space, big room. There's a ton of eating and, spaces here. You got the cooking area. There's a fridge and sinks and all that kind of stuff. Just this room came with the sinks and the fridge and the extra storage, and it just made sense for it to make a mess hall. So this is the mess hall. All right, and if we continue down this way, so this was area right here, one of the ways you could get up to the top. But again, we're going to take a look at inside the walls first, and then we're going to look up top. So they had in the, when you first take this fort or the settlement back, they had a clinic right here, and I just decided to add on to it. So this is actually recovery for when you do surgery or whatever, and a lot of people end up sleeping in here anyway, but this is recovery, and I know there's pink walls, but I liked the brick. Anyway. It's a recovery, you know, sort of a nice view out, I guess. It's a pipe, so it's not the best, but you know, they're sleeping for the most part, so it doesn't really matter. And then here, this is the clinic stand that came with the build, and I just added this wall right here so that, you know, you could lock up the drugs and stuff. And there's a facial reconstruction place here, so a surgery station there. And yeah, we're going to continue on this way. So this right here is the general's quarters. This is pretty much my room. And we're going to go and do these doors. I wanted to decorate this so that it was kind of like, you know, not like stately is what I'm trying to say. So you've got, you know, your portraits of American presidents or like French people, and just Napoleon over there on the wall and his power stance on the horse. And then I've got some collectibles. So I've got my bobbleheads here. I've got my general's armor. This was over at Oberlin Station, so if you saw that video, you saw the general's armor there. It made more sense for it to be here, so I just moved it over here once I got everything built. And then I've got the mechanist armor, which I was kind of debating whether or not I wanted to have this on display in here because it reminds me of the Jetsons. So if you guys ever watched that cartoon, it just looks like one of those Jetsons robots. Anyway, so my collector stuff, got some plants flaming. I just really wanted this, you know, area to look, you know, like it was lived in. So some plants that are framing the doorway. This was already here, and I just kind of deleted the rug out from under that. I didn't want it there. It looked gross. And I've got a sitting area. I replaced the beds in here with like a nice bed. This came with the Nuka-Cola pack that I got from Creation Club, and again, that you can get that in Creation Club as well. Got some guns on the walls for decorations, and if you've played this before, if you played the castle before, you go into like the underground of the castle like fort with Ronnie Shaw, I think is her name, to kind of free up, you know, clean out the area and all that. So I just didn't want a giant hole in the wall with a pathway down there, so I added a wall with a door so that I could lock it so that nothing could come up from there. All right, so moving on, we're just going to close this door here, continue on this way. Most of this is storage, just because I wanted a place for like to keep things dry, I guess, and so most of the storage for like the settlement is here. There's a chem station again. This came with the settlement. I didn't want to mess a whole lot with that. And of course, there's a couple of places that are kind of empty, like they just haven't had, you know, haven't filled it with storage just yet. All right, so down here is the barracks. As you can see, it's labeled. So a couple of beds back here with some foot lockers, some mats. It's pretty simple, but I mean, most barracks are. You've got some big, these are filing cabinets technically, but they could just be drawers. So like each person gets a drawer, whatever. So this is the barracks. We've got a lot of people that sleep back here. As you can see, people are starting to come down to go to bed. All right, so now that we've looked at everything here, we're going to go upstairs. We got all these people coming down because the bar's back this way. Okay, wait, people, please make room for me to come up. Thanks. Okay, cool. No. Okay. All right, so now we're at the top of the fort. You can look at Spectacle Island back there, which I haven't unlocked yet. In all the playthroughs I've done, I haven't gone to unlock that. So I'm going to be doing that eventually because I kind of want to build out there. Anyway, so let's go around this way. This is the bar, and I put it up here because I wanted to have this really beautiful view of the ocean. I really like having my bars having nice views. So you come in here, and it's just really long, just because this place is kind of, there's not a whole lot of ground here, and I wanted there to be plenty of walking room right up against the stairs here. And again, you've got this wonderful view out into the settlement here. And this is the bar, so you get a nice view of the ocean. There's a place for, you know, weightlifting, hanging out, some, you know, social atmosphere here. So yeah, this is a bar. A lot of my workers come up here to hang out after, you know, their day is done. We're gonna come around this way, and if you go up this bit of scaffolding, you'll look down, and this is where I keep the Brahmin. So they have a little shelter back there, a place to eat. I don't want to go all the way down because it's just kind of, you know, it's a little windy, and I don't want to make anybody dizzy. So I wanted to keep them outside the settlement because I just don't like having Brahmin inside. They just take up space and wander around and get in the way. So I just moved it out there so it wasn't an issue. And then over here is the farm. It made more sense to put the farm up here because this whole area is pretty much grass, and you get, you know, constant sunlight, so you don't have any walls blocking, you know, light at certain times of day. So it's constant sunlight up here. So there's plenty of, you know, planting and growing plants and all that. So I added this little scaffolding elevation type thing to put the fertilizer, the little planters up here. So there's a bunch of different vegetables and fruits that are planted here, and then a mut fruit trees kind of line the walkway there. And I added like a bridge because I think when you come here at first, this overhang isn't exactly there, so I added this part just to kind of adds some security when they're, you know, tending their mut fruit plants. All right, so we're gonna come up on our first artillery gun. I actually think, I think I only have 2. I might have 3. Yeah, I think I have 3. So this is the first of 3. I wanted them at the front 3 stages, or like places like this, like the dips in that are kind of facing Boston, so different areas, so they could see as much of Boston and can respond as quickly as they can. It didn't make sense to put any back there because they're not really looking at anything. I didn't put any over there either, just because again, there's a gun on that side, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so up here, this is the bridge over the gatehouse down, like where you come in. So we started looking from down there, and again, got some turrets up here. There's some guard stations. I only have a couple of guards that are rotating because I wanted them to kind of walk around the surface, and they kind of stop in different areas and, you know, look over the walls and everything. So here's another artillery gun, and again, it's pointed at another part of town so they can, again, respond to any crisis as needed if they see the artillery smoke. Here's another, there's a big gap here. So the Mirelurk Queen, when you come here, she comes out of this like pond thing and comes in through, what?
Remind them what it's all about.
Well,
Yeah?
okay, thanks for interrupting me. Anyway, so Preston, I mean, always interrupting you with stuff. Anyway. So the Mirelurk Queen comes here, and she comes up through this hole in the wall. So I decided to patch the hole in the wall just to make sure that that never happened again. And yeah, so now we have this big, big wall, basically. So here's my third artillery gun. It's just kind of focused in another area. So you get kind of the southern area of Boston kind of defended with this artillery gun. And yeah, so there's some stairs that go down there. So I mean, because this whole area was basically sloped rubble. So now it's not. And we're pretty much just about back. This was that first house I told you about with the stairs that kind of come up from there. And this is over the door that the provisioners come in. So they come on through this road and then in through that way. So anyway, this is the castle settlement. And again, I wanted you guys to see it at night. I may show it to you during the day. So let me show you it during the day really quick. All right, so this is the castle during the day. And like I said, I wanted to show it to you guys at night so you can really get a full idea of what it looks like with the neon and all the different lights. But it is still kind of a really big settlement. And I'm really, really excited how it turned out. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And as always, thanks for watching.